Buckland Brewer Parish Council meeting. It's the 9th of July 2025. Apologies for absence.
District Councillor Pennington may be late today. Our county councillor has apologised as well, and from the council, Councillor Hayward.
Thank you. Can we have a vote that everybody is happy with Councillor Hayward's absence?
Yep.
Show of hands, please. Yeah, cool. Declarations of interest? No?
Or things around the fate.
Sorry?
There's things on there about fate. I feel not being declared interest.
Yeah, you just won't get a vote. That's all. You can talk about it, but you can't vote.
Yeah. Oh.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it just you? Is Trevor, are you on the site committee? Okay. Right, minutes of the meeting of the Parish Council held on the 11th of June. Has everybody read those? Is everybody happy that I signed that they're correct?
I've raised something with the clerk and we're going to agree to disagree on it. So
Yeah, I'm aware
but I've
of that.
already raised it.
Okay. But you're happy for me to sign them?
Must be a majority.
Yeah. Is everybody happy? Can we show of hands, please?
I wasn't here, so I...
Oh, no, you weren't. That's very true. Absolutely. Thank you. I'm just fine. I do sound slightly loud.
Is it that one?
No, that one's
That's
off.
all.
No, it's this one. It's really loud. Don't turn it down too low, though, Dave, because you turned me down too low last time, didn't it? I know. Right, I'll give those to you, because you want to photograph them. Right, clerk's report. Oh, sorry, public participation. Yes, Keith.
Is there any news yet of the road signs? Because when they...
Hang on, 1 second. You probably won't be picked up by people at home hearing your very important question. Could maybe, yeah. Lou, thank you.
This is the Torrington ones, isn't it? To go to Torrington?
I don't know.
Hang on a minute, Keith, that's fine. Yeah, you can stay there if you want.
Thank you. Is there any news about the road signs? Because if the permission is granted for those 3 new bungalows, we'll be getting heavy lorries in Southwood Meadows all the time, coming along to our end and turning round, and it's breaking up the brick road.
Yeah, I know.
So signs ought to be done to direct them in the right direction.
Yeah, I was just going to mention this actually. I have escalated this to Councillor Pennington twice now because I have been chasing that since last September, and I've been writing to the officer, the planning officer that needs to be initiating that since then. I've also been chasing for the ones on Orley Close now because of course Lower Greenings is now got the same issue. So Councillor Pennington is actually on the case, but I don't have a timescale. I've even offered to get them installed locally if they can just supply the signs, but even that's not worked.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Anybody? Clive, you wanted to say something? Sorry, Clive spoke to me before. I just wanted to bring up the councillor.
Good evening. Have we had any response, please, about the road assessment vehicles trip through our parish and what the Highways Department are going to be doing about it, please?
Not specifically, no. I spoke to Highways earlier about another matter, but raised this as well. There's a lot of discussion going on about roadworks generally. So they are coming up with plans, but I don't know how quickly that's going to happen.
Okay, thank you. I was hoping that our new district councillor will be here this evening. I made a report about defective give-way markings on 2 roads. I got a response back to say that it was low priorities on this particular type of road marking, and there are 6,000 of them in Devon. She goes, the person who sent this to me goes on to say, we are prioritising South Hams and Teambridge.
Of course they are.
That's quite interesting, because I know that at Moorhead there was some near misses.
No, there was actual accidents as well.
And accidents, but recently there were some near misses. I was one of them that had to report it. But somebody who actually lived in Littleham had a near miss, and they actually put it onto our Facebook page. And
Is this the lady that lives up here?
no, this was somebody who actually lived in Littleham. Went to, I think, straight to highways, and they were out straight away. And they've been put. I've noticed
Yeah,
they're
they've got the
definitely in,
yeah.
aren't they? Those giveaway up there.
The reason I reported it was that I had a near miss. And because I've always approached this particular junction, which is just up from Trevor's, at Crossroads, I always anticipate the possibility, at least I hope I always do, and avoided an accident. But they didn't consider this to be a safety defect. I haven't actually followed that up yet. Anyway, having got
So sorry, can I just clarify? You've had a near miss there.
yes,
Do you have dash cam? No. I know a lot of people don't have dash cam, and I do harp on about it, but it really is the eye in your car that doesn't lie, and it really does. It's great evidence. The cheapest you can probably get them is for about 40 quid, 50 quid, and they are really worth having in your car, especially in these lanes.
thank you, I'll bear that in mind.
Okay.
In the crier, this last issue, the new district councillor for Torrington has already had a day spent with highways on rural roads. I don't know whether you read this article, it's very interesting. She's been out and about, and she's obviously highlighting this and monitoring it. I was going to ask our new district councillor if she would be doing the same. As she's not here, could you possibly follow this up on our behalf, because some of our roads are horrendous.
Yeah, Joe, I'm sure will follow that one up for you, Clive,
Yeah.
no problem.
I've got the other one in hand as well.
Thank you. Several months ago, I reported 10 potholes in 200 yards of road. It didn't even get on the Devon Highways map that shows what's been reported. They've been reported again, and I shall see exactly how they react this time. Thank you.
Interesting. Have they blacklisted you? Thanks, Clive. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Hello, Phil. Thank you. That's okay. Just let you get settled. Anybody else? No? Forever hold your peace? Okay, lovely. Clerk's report.
Right, thank you. A few things. The signage has already been mentioned. Councillor Pennington's on the case with that one. I have applied for the Section 106 funding for the play equipment. We have to wait 4 weeks until we know whether we've been successful. So it's watch this space, but we're carrying on with the planning. And there will be some information and a suggestion box available on Saturday for anyone who wants to make some comments. If anyone is not aware, that the Morocco UK Para project has been cancelled by the government. So that was announced a couple of weeks ago. So the government made a statement to say they didn't feel it was the right thing to do at this time. So that isn't going ahead. Note for councillors, I forwarded some information from the North Devon Records Office. If you are interested in attending that event on the 22nd of July, can you let me know after the meeting, please?
It's quite interesting.
Yeah. Also for councillors, the training next week is 10 o'clock start on the 15th. I've had a letter from Sir Geoffrey Cox's office just to say he's got a new office manager and he's forwarded some general posters to go up, so I'll put one on the notice board and perhaps one by the shop. The village scene, you've probably noticed there was a note in the village scene about me not sending minutes on time. It's quite interesting that I'm the only parishioner to be publicly criticised in the village scene, and have been for quite some time now. But hold my hand up, it was late. But I was a little disappointed in the comment, to say the very least. And I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Agreement 39, agreement of defibrillator responsibilities for 2025 and 26. I know we sort of doled the jobs out sort of 3 ways, but Phil and I have had a chat about this, and I'm not sure it's going to work. For instance, you're not going to be here for a little while, are you, Jim? So that leaves that one. We just felt that it possibly would be better with just you're working, you know, an added thing for you to do. I think it's better that Phil and I think, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but that one person does the checks.
One retired person.
Yeah, so basically Councillor Ainsworth has decided that he would volunteer.
Excellent.
We flipped a coin. And in his absence,
was retired as well.
but in his absence, I will do it for him. But it's just easier. We can go online, say that we've checked all 3, and that's it.
And we're taking the load off of Joe, this is the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So you still filling in the form for Southwest?
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll all be up to date. But is everybody happy about that? The ones that were doing the ones that were doing the job. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine if you want to. Yeah.
We
It's
did-
most probably best one person does it, to be fair.
I think it's accountability of one person, but I'm quite happy to back. I mean, these are really important bits of kit, and if they fail or they don't work,
It's consistency as well.
it is. It falls on Phil.
Well done. Phil volunteered.
Yeah.
He volunteered. We tossed a coin. He said he'd do it. Eh?
Lost.
I said me. Yeah, I've already said that. When he's not here, I'll do it. Okay. Yeah, no, that's already been said. Okay, can we, all those in favour that Councillor Ainsworth, with me backing up? Look at that, I've never seen
If you're
such a
happy
quick
with
show
that,
of hands.
Phil? You happy
Yeah,
with that,
that's
Phil?
a full house.
Yeah.
Hello. You're not voting yourself? All right, okay. You'll all be happy to know that you're in safe hands with Councillor Ainsworth.
Shocking.
Right, 40. Decision whether to replace the benches next to the village green.
Yeah, I'm rather hoping that everybody saw this on the agenda and had a wander over and had a look at the benches. You will see they're starting to deteriorate. My feeling is it worth patching them up? Not really, because we change a couple of slats tomorrow, we'll be changing another couple of slats in a few weeks, and so it goes on, and it becomes a bit of a liability.
How long ago did we put them in place? Wasn't that very long, was that?
Well, it's not night time.
You remember, John?
Yeah, done the small one on the end there, didn't we, as well?
Yeah,
The small one on the end is all right. That's obviously a later addition. It's the 3 big ones.
Yeah.
Well, I had a look. Everything this way. Yeah. I stopped and had a look, and I think it would be a waste to replace them. You know, there's a slat or something that's cracked and whatnot, but they should have a bit of maintenance done, and because they, you know, they'll cost £600–700 a bench, and times is hard, and I feel that it would be an utter waste of money. Yeah, a coat of paint, and they'll go on for several years, probably.
I was
Yes,
just out there too, Trevor, it's more than just a bit of paint. If you press on the wood, it kind of caves a bit. I mean, the wood is fundamentally weakened, I think, is my impression of it. So whether it's painted or not, if somebody sits on it, there's a chance that they could embarrassingly go through to the floor.
Thanks for that, Jim.
I pressed on them, and it's
Yeah?
I'm a good weight, good test. Yeah, I well,
Or
personally-
maybe a few slats could be replaced.
well, yes, right.
Yeah.
That's what I meant
Yeah.
by being
Yeah.
repaired.
Yeah.
But
Take out the slats that are really the one there on this end one that's damaged. If they were replaced and then they had a coat of varnish, they go on for a year or two anyway. So then otherwise we don't get the value out of them to keep replacing.
And even if we do replace them, there will need to be a regular maintenance on them anyway.
Well, this is the thing, you see, you can replace them with composite stuff, which has got no end of guarantee on them. They don't need to be maintained, they won't rot. You won't have to paint them, they just sit there bolted to the floor and that's the end of it. I quite understand that, yeah, spending a lot of money on a bench does seem a bit hard, but who's going to keep maintaining these things? There's only half a dozen people in this village that actually seem to do any physical work, and it falls back on these same people, or we've got to pay somebody to do it. So that's counterproductive in my feeling.
And you were saying, don't replace the whole lot, just
Oh, no.
two.
No, I mean, I can't, to be honest, I can't see the point of having 4 3-seater benches sat up there. I mean, it'd been great if we could have had the parish council meeting out there tonight. It'd been wonderful. And there was enough seats for us, but
Is it got to the stage that you think that they need replacing now, one of them?
Well, I think it's something that needs to be considered, rather than spend money trying to patch these things up. My feeling is it's better to replace. I mean, if everybody else thinks different, then fine, it's not a problem.
Yes, Al.
Do we know how much new ones would be?
Scary.
This
Well,
is for-
obviously it
this is for
depends what,
composite, isn't it?
this is what you go for. I mean,
It's low maintenance.
yes, it's like there's no maintenance. I mean, that's the thing. We haven't got the, once it's bolted to the
You
floor,
might have to
then that's
wash
the
it,
end
I
of it.
guess.
We don't mess around. I mean, Joe has just picked up one here. I mean, I've been trawling through the internet for ages, looking at various different companies and what have you. But Joe's picked up one at 670 quid. But that is a memorial one, so you can actually have your name imprinted, or you know, Buckland Brewer Parish Council, or in memorial of somebody. So I think there may be other options which we can look at that might be slightly cheaper than that. But say a ballpark figure of £600 for a bench, I don't think it's particularly out of order if it's going to last for 20 years. You know, that's
No, I agree.
But it won't unless it's been maintained.
No, it's a composite.
the composite, so you haven't got to maintain anything.
Oh,
No, guys, don't
You haven't
need
got to
any
spend. You
maintenance.
haven't got to spend any money on it. There's
None at all.
none at all.
But for a bigger purchase like that, that might be something we have to plan for in our
Yeah.
budget. Because
Yeah.
if we buy 2 or 3, that's quite
No,
a
no,
lot
we're
of
not,
money.
no, we're not
No,
planning on
not
buying
going
2 or
through.
3.
Yeah, I mean the idea. I mean, like I say, I don't see the point of having all the benches that we've got there at the moment. My idea would be to replace the 3 with 2 3-seaters, and then put some hot lights in between to cheer the place up a bit.
And we've even looked around for nicking them out of your garden.
Well, yeah,
Big-
that's
big-
it.
big
And
pot plants
I've got a
do
volunteer
make
that
it.
will quite happily look after them. So
There you go. Just to make it look a bit tidy.
Yeah.
I mean,
tidy up,
the,
yeah.
the War Memorial's had its new lettering done, if anybody's noticed.
Yeah,
It looks
I
really
saw that.
smart. We've been up there and tidied up and weeded around there, and I think it just looks smarter. to
I
be
mean,
honest.
if somebody wants to take the slats off of one bench to patch up the other and keep
Yeah,
that going for
that's
another
a good
year,
idea.
then fine. We could
yeah,
work with that, and then perhaps think about replacing next year. But
Yeah.
So do we have any volunteers that would like to do that? Take the slats off one and replace on the other? Dave, I've heard you're a real handyman.
I have got all over woodwork.
Have you? Well, that's it. You got the job.
We've got to volunteer.
We got,
Would
got
you?
one.
Marvellous.
just remember the young one here has got a plaque on.
That can come off and go back on another one. So what are you,
Well, we've got to the stage now where we're going to scrap one, patch one up, keep it going until
yeah,
that falls apart. But we could shift them about, couldn't we, and gap them out so that
yeah.
it makes
So we
this
get buy one
sensible.
composite for, in the meantime.
No.
No.
If we scrap
No.
one, because we only want to
I see.
replace two.
We don't need to scrap one at
So
all, do we?
Yes,
if-
we do. Yeah.
My feeling is that the two of them really should go. I think, and two could remain. But I mean, if
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So just so that we have got it right. Do you know what was being said? Yeah. Oh, well, so you're not.
Yes.
I'm glad you.
I was just going to quickly say, there is money in the budget if you wanted to do it. And the other thing is somebody asked how old they are. The oldest ones are 2017 and one was replaced in 2021.
Not that old then, are they?
no,
But they're wood.
but they're only softwood.
They're
You see, they're not
it's
even.
in a
They're not
very
even
sunny
teak.
spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not even teak or hardwood.
Right. So can I?
Softwood.
Sorry. Can I rewind because obviously
Yes,
Joe's
you've
got
got
it. I haven't.
confused.
Right.
No.
There are 3 benches up there at the moment.
There's four
benches.
altogether.
We will combine one into making one, so out of 2. Yeah.
Well, but then Joe is saying there's enough money in the budget, so can we scrap 2, buy a composite, and then set it out and the job's done?
Can we just get one?
Just get
Yeah,
the one.
I think get one for now and see how we get
So
along.
you're just going to have 3
Yeah.
benches
Yeah.
instead of 4?
And then we thought we would put pots up there to make it look nice and to tidy it up. We're happy to go up there and tidy it up and maybe try and ask the council if they would give us a new grit thing in the corner to make it all
box,
look
yeah.
lovely, pretty.
We, perhaps we ought to encourage people to sit there.
They do. They do. People do sit there.
Practice them being from last of the summer wine.
No. And I have to say, I'm probably one of those. We were sat there the other day.
Yeah.
It's a really
Exhausted after clearing out
nice. Yeah,
all
well,
the
there we
water.
go. No, I think we've been for a walk actually. But, yeah, no, people sit there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you
Scrap 2, replace 1.
scrap 2, replace 1?
But isn't one salvable? I can't even say it. Salvable. whatever.
Salvageable.
That's the
Salvageable.
word.
Yeah.
Isn't one like that? Can one be fixed by this gentleman over here?
I personally don't think so. I was rather hoping that because it was on the agenda, everybody's gone and had a look. But
Well,
No.
I've seen it.
And I agree with Jim.
personally, I think that one of them is definitely on the way out. The other one, yeah, you get hold of the slats and you can start peeling bits off of them that it's crumbling.
Has everyone
So,
been to have a look at these benches?
No, I am.
No.
Well, I did the other
Jim, you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
Unless you want to nip out there.
Well,
It's
I was
not
gonna say-
desperate, so
if you want to nip out and go and have a quick look and see for yourself, and we'll just talk amongst
No.
ourselves
Well,
for
no.
2 seconds.
Don't
All right.
have to
I would suggest that we put it on the agenda for next month.
No.
And we got,
What? Deferring?
Yeah.
Mm.
and then we can have a look and make a decision.
No, listen, people have had plenty of chance to go and have a look at those benches. If they'd like to go and look at those benches, right, Alex, if you'd like to go and have a look at the bench, Kate, if you'd like to go and look at the bench, go and have a look at the bench. Really don't mind. Go on.
30 minutes.
And for those at home, I'd go and make yourself a cup of coffee in this interlude. But no, no, we're not deferring this. This is what happened. And make it quick, ladies, please.
They'll be sitting in the sun.
I know.
We're coming this week.
Shall I go and persuade them?
No,
No.
you stay here.
Send it
I'll lose you all. I know. They all whisk off to the pub.
I was going to say, luckily the benches aren't between you and the pub.
Yeah. I just think if we defer it, it's just rolling on. I think these people have had
It does need to be a rolling programme, really, and do the one
Yeah.
you know, you look at the one that's in the worst condition and either replace it or do something to it.
Dave, there's money in the budget, so if we replace one, scrap 2, replace 1, we've done our
Yeah,
job,
that's
haven't
it,
we? Yeah. We'll just wait for the ladies to come back.
Can I make a comment?
Oh, please do, Tim. Thank you.
Talking about plaques,
Would you like to use a microphone so that people at home, because you might have something very important to say. Make sure it's turned on as well. Little green light at the top. Press it, that's,
Yeah, just move it slowly across.
does that stay on? Lovely.
my suggestion would be, talking about the benches, you could have people in the parish could make a donation and have a plaque on the bench and help fund part of the cost.
Do you know what? That's a cracking idea. I mean, you know, people can have, why not? Absolutely not. Oh, and they're back, and that's a good idea. Happy?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Did you
I'm glad
actually
they
go and
went
see
out
the?
there.
Did you actually go and see
We
the
sat on
benches?
them, stood
Did
on
you?
them, we
Right,
sat
stood
on
them and
them.
jumped up there.
We think
Right.
that as we've got a volunteer, 2 of those benches could be made into one good
Yes.
one. The other 2, when they're painted up a nice bright colour rather than brown, would make that village green look lovely. And we've got volunteers prepared to do it.
If we've got the volunteers to do it for now, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be done.
It's cost effective.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see all four, the 4 being there, really, rather than lose one somewhere.
No, because we were going to put pot plants around it, make it all look lovely, make it a nice
Who's going to look
environment.
after the pot?
Because you don't
This
see,
lady.
you don't, this lady here. And we are donating, Councillor Ainsworth is clearing out his garden and has got some nice big ones. At the end of the day, do you ever see all 4 benches used at the same time?
We could have a competition somewhere.
Well,
Right.
if we can fill all 3 benches that we've refurbished really well, then we could consider buying a 4th.
Yeah. I think we need a
Up to you,
competition.
do.
No, don't know. I mean, it's
Most
down to the
people
vote,
get on
isn't
with
it? I mean,
Go on, yeah.
I personally don't like the look of 2 of them.
You don't like the look
Look
of...
of 2 of them.
No,
the
but
condition
those
of the 2
2
of them.
could
Right.
make one of those 2 good.
Yeah, they won't last very long, I don't think. They won't last
But it's another 12
winter.
months though, isn't it?
There we
It
go.
could last another 12 months. But
Okay,
this is where I rest
Right.
my case.
so here we go. This is it, guys. Right, we're not deferring this. We're going to take this forward. Votes in favour of scrapping 2 and replacing 1, which will leave us with 3. Those in favour of that, all those in favour now.
scrapping, I don't understand. Are you on
Scrapping
about...
Scrapping 2
and replacing
with
1.
1 composite.
Oh, that's
So
no.
then that leaves us 3 benches.
Because
Yeah.
they're all slightly different, aren't they? They're not all the same width.
David, don't make this any complicated than it already is.
That's a fact. There's one on the end smaller than the rest.
Okay. Right, okay, so where were we with that vote? Have you changed your mind?
Yeah.
No, can you say
Now you
if
made
they
it
do- what,
clear.
what the benches
Right,
are?
right, those in favour of scrapping 2 and replacing 1
With a composite.
with a
With
composite.
a composite.
So that's 4. Okay, those against? Whoa, this is a first, isn't it?
Use it wisely.
4, no, the chair now has the deciding vote.
Yes, that's what I said. Use it wisely.
And this is the
Yes.
first time in my second year that I've got to do that. And I can change
We
my
could
mind.
have a referendum.
We could have a referendum. I am going to stick with my vote with scrapping 2 and replacing 1. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, yes, but we've got 2 people who are doing lots of work in the signs at the ends of the village, aren't you? And
Yeah.
helping. They're offering to help with some of that, so I really think we should take them up on their offer.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I thought
The other
thought
2
you were
need
just-
doing
Oh,
up.
no, I'll be handing them. Don't
Yeah.
you worry about that.
That's good. That's
But
fine.
the other 2 need upgrading anyway, don't they? They need a good stand up and a
Yeah,
good paint because
so
they're
yeah.
looking tatty in
Scrapping
as
2
well.
and replacing 1.
I'm doing the other one up.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
let's move on. Okay, 41. Summary of proposals for the 2025 BB Fete. Decision whether to grant permission to use the amenity field for the BB Fete and dog show.
I should have, my fault, I forgot all about doing it last time. Because I usually ask permission to do it. But,
It's kind of fine, isn't it? Sorry.
So, I mean, the paint is going to take place, hopefully, on the one of my garden, if we can. It'll be on the amenity field, and obviously.
Should we just explain that the amenity field is owned by the parish council, and the fate should have come to the parish council?
Yeah, he would have if he'd remembered.
He would have done.
But there's another bit as well is that what we would like to do is to kind of borrow some electricity. We would like to borrow some electricity from
You can't borrow electricity.
Bring it back.
That's called abstracting.
All right then.
No, 1 second. One second.
All right, so we will kind of ask, if we know how much it's used, we'll pay that.
So where are you borrowing this electricity from?
Village Hall.
Village Hall?
No, we use it
Oh.
from the
light.
Oh, I didn't realise that you did that.
Yeah,
as
there's a
well.
thing at the back. You can sockets on there on the back.
Right, so that's charged to the parish council as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And also, Joe did mention about the drinks licence. That we do get a licence for the PIM store and that, and on the field. So
what about an entertainment's licence?
What, for the band?
Mm-hmm.
I've never got a licence for the band.
We've got our own licence.
They are.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So I've never in the last 300
Solve that
years
problem.
got a licence for the band.
Okay.
So if it's all right, if you agree that we can do that.
Being the nosy Parker that I am, evidently the parish council, because we are a business, we charge £100 for a full day for the use of the.
Do you?
And this was taken in effect
No, we've
in
never
2021, not in my time.
Yeah, but that's
in your time.
not.
You must have agreed to this.
No, this is a community event.
That's true, but the PFA ran a community event not that long ago, and we're going to be charged for this, that, and the other by different organisations in the village, and I think that seemed pretty unfair. So I'm saying, what £100 should be paid to the parish council, or an offer of that money should have been made.
For £100.
Anybody else's view?
This was never read before.
What did we actually have to pay for then for the VE day to the other? Was it the VE day?
Yeah.
What did we have to pay for to other?
Well, the village hall wanted to charge us for a whole day's use. If
Oh yeah,
we had
because
to
we didn't.
use it.
But we didn't go ahead with that, did we?
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is though, Trevor, is that David just said it's a community event, and I don't fall out with that if it's within the community. But when it was reversed onto the Playing Field Association, people wanted to charge them.
Well,
But we won't be needing electricity for the whole day for the fete, will we? The £100 was for the whole day, wasn't it?
No.
£100 for the hire of the amenity, for the hire of the field.
Yeah, but for how long?
For a whole day.
Yeah, well, the fete won't want it for a whole day, will it?
You can have it up to 4 hours for £50.
That sounds better.
The electricity is
That's 9
usually
till 6.
what we use for the bouncy castles and maybe the fridge.
This is getting slightly silly because I think the whole issue here is that unfortunately this village is split into little sections. So you've got the Playing Field Association up there, you've got the village hall doing their bit, you've got the fete doing their bit, you've got the parish council doing their bit. There's no, it's too fragmented. But the big problem is anybody holding an event on the playing field or the amenity field or whatever has to inform the people who own that land so that insurances and liabilities, etc., can be properly organised, and risk assessments and all this. I know it sounds totally boring and it's totally out of it. I quite agree. Personally, I think it's just paper shuffling. But it has to be done. And it's just been highlighted, the more that you dig into these things. And it's obviously come up in the past because the previous council voted to make charges for these various different, it's all shown down there. That it was all agreed. So, but I don't, it's not an issue about we should charge you this and we should charge you that. That's not the issue. The issue is insurances and liabilities.
Insurance is done. We've got our own insurance.
Yes, but how do we know that if you haven't asked permission to go on there? I mean, this is the thing.
Well,
I've
said I should have done it at the last meeting. I didn't.
I'm not having to go at you, Dave. I'm not having to go at anybody. I'm just saying that we need to follow procedures.
Yeah,
Procedures are laid down there. In this particular circumstance, procedures weren't followed. And it's just highlighting it, that's all.
But it's not, I take an issue with your thing about kind of fragmented. The amount of people who help on the day of the fete is pretty good. It's pretty amazing, really. And the fete is evolved. There's a photograph of me up there in 1956, okay? All right? But it has evolved since then.
Well, of course it has.
Yeah,
well, I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that.
No, it doesn't matter anyway, because
what I'm saying is if the parish council ran the village hall, the amenity field, and the playing field, and all the rest of it, it all came under the parish council, it wouldn't matter, because the parish council would be organising the fete, and that would be the end of it.
Ah, funny you should say that. Because
all those again.
Because I think we're going to need to have a big meeting, really, of what we do with the fete. Because after 40 odd years, I've had enough. All right, I'm trying to give things up before.
We have noticed.
Yeah, I is. All right, so so maybe you like to do it then.
That's another subject, isn't it?
Let's wait for
next year.
I mean, but, it is a kind of event that kind of, in a way, runs itself, but there are things that need doing.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I attended your first fete committee meeting, and went through all that with the VE Day business, so I know exactly what it's all about. But at the end of the day, if somebody else takes it over, they've still got to come and ask the PC if we can hold the event on the field.
And we would have done it at the last meeting.
I think we should agree to the fete being run. It's a massive community event,
and
I know that's what we're saying.
But I've got no problems with that.
And then we need to agree on what we're going to charge for the electricity.
Well, whatever it gets used.
Do you want to borrow a generator?
No.
Oh.
Tried that before, haven't we?
We've got a generator.
So Plainfield's got the generator if you want to borrow it.
That involves money.
No.
It's much easier to plug it in down there. The electricity's down there, isn't it?
If it's there.
Yeah, it's just a socket, isn't it?
The council pays for the electric because they get their quarterly or a monthly bill, I don't know, which is about, I can't remember offhand, but it's not a big sum, is it? It's the electricity bill for the amenity field.
It's not a huge amount. I suppose the bit I'm a little bit concerned about is that I didn't know that was being used.
No, I didn't.
From a council point of view, we can't do risk assessments for all sorts of things like that. And I'm not sure whether we should be tapping into that electricity.
Well, that's what it's there for, isn't it? There's plugs you can plug in. Which means that people can.
Was that what it was there for? I don't know.
I don't know.
My understanding was it was to do with the air ambulance.
But the amenity's there, and the fete is for the good of everybody, so why can't we use it?
Right, okay. Has anyone else got anything else to say about this? I mean,
Well, I'm just intrigued with this electricity. So when the landing lights went in, was that all part of the fixture, or was that something that was added afterwards?
No, I think the plugs at the back.
All wired in at the same
It was all
time.
done at the time.
Is it a locked case? Is it? Yeah, it's locked.
It's locked.
Yeah.
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 who unlocks it then?
The fate committee.
So who's got the key?
I used to have the key to the village, but no, not anymore. I think Barry does.
I reckon Barry's got the
Barry's
key
got the key.
because he checks it every week to see that the light's working.
Yeah. So he does.
I think the bottom line is the parish council should firstly just be aware that the electricity is being abstracted from them. And, did I say that out loud? Abstracted? Yeah.
Not used, not wired up by me.
It's still abstracting electricity. And and just that, you know, we make sure each year that insurances are,
Yeah,
you know,
we've
in
done.
place and everything else. I think,
Yeah,
and then
that's
it's
all.
minuted, it's there, and we can, if
We've got
anyone
the
suddenly
insurance.
says they want to sue the pants off the parish council, we can say,
Fate have
okay.
got insurance, haven't you?
We've got our own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. But
It-
yeah.
As far as I can see, it's just an oversight, and Dave's apologised for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We just
yeah.
need to go yes or no,
Yeah.
because it's on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's what I was going to say.
Or it will be on my car.
I don't know why we're discussing it at length.
Let them know off this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you can ask yourself next year.
Are you still having the dog show on?
Yeah.
Saturday?
Oh, that's the other bit as well, yeah.
What, the
Is
dog
it
show?
all right if the dogs go on there? To be in the dog show?
As long
Are you
as they
still
pick
going
up their
there?
poo.
With the weather, it's going to be so hot. Torrington have actually, what to do? Stop theirs on Saturday. Yeah, because of the heat.
We
It's up to the
There'll
owners,
be-
isn't it?
make sure we got plenty of water for them.
I'm sure.
Okay. No one's got any has anyone got any problems with the dogs going on the, because it is a no dog field.
As long
As long as they pick up.
That's
Yeah.
all that matters, isn't it?
As long as people pick things up,
Yeah.
which
But
would be a first.
It's like an oxymoron, isn't it? That there's no dogs allowed on the amenity field, but one day every year they can all run around. But hey, that's,
No, they're going to be under control. Yeah, yeah.
keep on the lead, pick up after your dog. Fine. All right. Well, this is just a what's it vote, isn't it? So all those in favour of the fete going on, thank you.
I can't.
So he's going to say,
You can't vote, no.
Well done. You remembered though.
But yes, we will have a meeting after the fete, because we're going to have to start thinking about next year, and retiring.
Are you all retiring?
I don't know. I don't about my
Well, that would be
pattern
depending
mass
on
things. Could be.
Oh.
I don't know. But it's, you know,
Okay, well, it's
After
another
50
year till
odd-
2026. So
after 50 odd years.
I'd like to get to my next wedding anniversary. I won't say I'm volunteer friendly. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Thank you.
42, decision whether to replace the defibrillator, I wish I could say that word, and cabinet at BB Hall. We all know that we've replaced the one here in the, down here by the TK.
Didn't we decide last year
Yeah.
that we would be replacing that one?
Yeah. No, we didn't vote on it. But we did say we'd come back to it, Trevor.
so we're
And
coming
here
back
we
to
are.
it. Yeah,
But
we-
it runs out of its
That's the one.
Yeah,
It's going out on. And also to do exactly the same as we did here, have a coded box, which
That's fair.
is not a problem either. So, anyone got anything to say about that?
Sorry, I missed what you were rittering on. What was that you were on about? Sorry. What were you on about? Sorry. I was chatting as well.
We were looking where it was
I'm
on the
looking at
agenda.
Sorry,
agenda and I
Councillor
can't
Can.
see.
You were wittering
You
over
got
there.
I was wittering and you were
And you
wittering and I
accused me of
couldn't hear
wittering.
what you were talking about. Which defibrillator? I've not got it on my minutes.
Have you not?
No.
Well, it does say at the BB
The
Hall.
whole,
So is that Buckland Brewer, the Village Hall one?
Yeah.
Is that because that one's out of date, isn't it?
Well, it's not going to be Torridge Village Hall.
No,
It's
I know.
Buckland
I'm just
Brewer.
asking. Is it that one there?
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
How many halls have we got? No respect.
There we go.
So basically, we said we would come back to it and we would vote this
Not
year.
on there.
Have you not got it on there?
No.
No?
I've not got it on here.
Number
either.
40,
Version of the minutes.
42.
No, it's, yes,
42 says
because
members.
it's not
42
on
is
the
members.
minutes.
It doesn't matter, but that's what we were like, where is
Yes.
it?
It's 42 at BB Hall.
Yeah.
And
we
they haven't got it
spoke
on there.
about
They haven't got it on their
Oh,
one.
right. This is the one, the latest one. That we
Oh,
would...
oh.
Have you got it on yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so-
Done. Anyway,
Doesn't
that's my
matter.
point. Okay,
No.
right. So it's to replace the one at Buckland Brewer Hall so that it's running out of its time now, but to have the same cabinet as we had there. We've got the money in the pot, and it was just merely that we staggered it into this year.
Yeah.
I propose we renew it. Anyone want to second me? Because I keep forgetting.
I
to
will.
do
I'd just like to add to this, sorry.
that.
While we're spending money on that, the defibrillator at Thornhill
Right.
Head,
Yep,
the cabinet up there is an unlocked
yep,
and it doesn't work.
yep.
So I suggest at the same time we replace that cabinet.
Just the cabinet, not
Just the cabinet. The defibrillator itself
It's not on the agenda.
is only,
We can't do that.
pardon?
We can't do that today, Phil, because it's
We
going to have
can't
to go on the
add
agenda.
another cabinet
No,
onto the,
it's not on the agenda.
all right, let's do that next.
It's got the temperature on that one up there and it opens at 4
Okay.
Joe,
Sorry.
I've still got the old defibrillator thing from over here.
No, I keep adding.
Oh, right.
I'll drop it, I'll let you have it.
Okay. Right, so the proposal is for one that's lockable at BB Hall. I'm proposing that we go for a new one. Anyone want to second me?
Me.
Thank you, Kate. All those in favour? Yep, full house. Members' report. Start with Kath.
No, I've nothing to report.
Kate.
No, I had a couple of things, but they've all been addressed, so that's all good.
Okay.
It's not really members' report, but I just wanted to say that when I was out riding the other day, I was absolutely disgusted with the amount of dog faeces, especially along Gorwood Road.
Oh,
It
it's
was
dreadful.
disgusting,
Mm.
and it was big amounts of it.
I have to say I've noticed that, and people are leaving it in the middle of the road,
Yeah.
and I really find quite offensive. I really
And
do.
Also,
my
like on
dog-
public footpaths and that as well, there's dog faeces and people. I mean, do people not have to pick it up when they're out the village? I don't,
Oh, we live down there, and you know, people live down there and walk
But
down
even
there all
like,
the
you know,
time,
in
don't
fields
they?
or whatever, you know, if it's a public footpath or whatever,
Should be
should you not
picked
pick
up.
it up?
Yeah,
And
it should.
It's dog owners' responsibility to pick it up. But I was just quite appalled by it, really. It's quite saddened, really, that people in the village can't bother to pick up their dog
Well, there
poo.
was something on Facebook today that somebody chucked a dog poo bag across somebody's wall and it went into their child's swimming pool.
Oh,
I was absolutely I don't know where that lady lives, but I was absolutely disgusted to read that. I really was. Oh, right, so where was I? Okay.
That was it.
Okay.
I think they should bring back the dog licence myself.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Like 20 quid.
Dog licence, up in Dixon. It's not that it stops people from...
I was going to say, how does a dog licence stop?
It would, because we as a parish council have expended quite a lot of money on dog bins and stuff, haven't we? You know, and I mean, I ain't got a dog.
Dave, it is a minority that makes a
Yeah,
bad
it
noise.
always
I have
is.
to say. Yeah. Phil?
Yes, I attended the community shop AGM the other week, and it was a very interesting meeting, to be honest, to sit there and see the people that run it and hear what they got to say for themselves. One of the things they did ask was whether any councillors should be on their committee. Now, I've had a little think about this, and personally, I think not. I'm quite happy to go along to their AGMs and listen to what they've got to say, and I'm quite happy to lobby the parish council on their behalf. But if I joined their committee, I wouldn't be able to have a vote. So,
I'm not quite sure
think
you'd be
there's-
lobbying on their behalf. Why would you be doing that?
well, because I can, if they've got an issue that they want to bring forward to the parish council, I can bring it forward for them. I've got no problem with that, same as anybody sitting here. If they've got an issue, I'm quite happy to bring it to the council.
yeah, that's our role.
So, yeah, so I'd be quite happy to do that. But I'll just highlight this, is if there's anybody thinks on the council that we should perhaps
No, I
have.
don't, because I think
But-
you lose your vote.
but- and anybody else thinks that, I don't know. If they think so, then perhaps they want to put it on the agenda. But
I mean, there's always a thing of does that show that you support it if you're in have a voice on behalf of the parish on the the committee.
It's a double-edged sword, though,
Yeah.
Dave. I had to remember your name then. Is because you lose your right to vote.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah.
And I don't really see what the reasoning would be why a parish councillor needs to sit on all these committees. You know, if they want to bring something to the parish council, somebody on their committee can bring it to the parish council. Doesn't need a parish councillor who will then lose a vote because they've got an interest, a conflict of interest.
No, I've got no problem, but it just sometimes gives that impression that we are kind of we support them. So.
Well, you can go to their committee meetings.
Yeah,
they don't need to be on their committee.
No, the vice chair goes.
The what?
Jackie's the vice chair.
Oh, well, there you are. You've got your own little representative.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
But amazingly, I do have, came in literally just before I was coming out to a meeting, and I think we've just, I think Keith brought this up. Alison Holmes is dumping soil on waste ground, and they're removing it they're dumping it where I think the gates have been put across, and then they're taking it back out again on Friday. That's fine, but they are causing major problems, turning into Southwood Meadows and then turning again. They are taking their lorries across people's gardens and in fact causing damage to the gardens, and it is upsetting the residents. And this person was wondering if we can make contact with Alison Holmes. I'll go up and get some pictures, Joe, and I'll go and speak to this parishioner and have a look at the damage on their lawn and that, and speak to a few people. But it seems like that I've noticed lorries, and they keep going up there, going right up to the wrong end, then reversing back down again, reversing back into, and it's just awful. It's and I can understand, and they're causing havoc with the road surface. It's awful.
But are they supposed to be going to replace things that are?
Well, this has been going on for 2 years now, and I can understand why people in Southwood Meadows are fed up with it.
Oh.
Yes, sorry.
Why are they moving soil and then moving it again?
Oh, there was a reason.
Yeah, they dug 2 holes in the road, and then because the drainage isn't
the
quite
drainage. I thought
That's
why,
it.
why were the lorries going in this way then?
I'm not sure, but they have dug 2 quite
Oh, so it's
substantial
quite because of that.
holes, because they are putting the drainage right, which, I think that's a good
It's a
thing.
new drainage system,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I thought they were bringing it from down the other side into that
They
one,
have.
sorry.
They've had little, I don't know what you call them,
Like a dumper
dumpers.
truck,
They've been
yeah.
coming from Orley Close and then bringing it all the way up to Southwood
The site
Meadows.
manager's called James, and he's really approachable.
Right.
If you go and find him, he's got a porta cabin down at the end of the last lot of houses that were built, and he's very helpful.
We have met with them on a couple of occasions, haven't we? Do you think we ought to do that again? Because they're coming to the end.
Well, yeah, I think possibly. Oh, I've just dropped the thing. I think possibly it would be good to have a meeting with them and find out exactly, are they going to be replacing all the stuff that they've damaged, and I think it would be a good idea.
Just to remind them of what they said at the
What's that?
That's the planning function.
What's that mean?
The planning
Oh,
officer
right.
at Torres will do all of that.
Will they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so it will be escalated to Torres.
Could we? Yeah. Thanks.
Wasn't it mentioned as well about them washing the houses off down to the main drag?
They did say that.
Yeah,
And repairing the road.
I live on the main drag and it hasn't happened. So.
Because they've been
No, I mean when
driving.
they finished.
Sorry.
Well, when are they going to finish?
Well,
Because they've been driving in and out with Orley Close, and they've had to reverse everything. When they're driving in, they have to reverse all the way back. So when the lorries with their axles, they've scraped all the road and all the stones up on the road coming in Orley Close.
I can really get that people are fed up with it. You must be, because it comes past you, doesn't it? Yeah. 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 I know. This has been 2 years. I know. I think I'll send you the message across that I've had so you're aware, and it can be logged, and then maybe if you could escalate that as well, Joe, that would be great, and I'll go back to the parishioner. Okay.
and sort of when we
Yeah,
meet.
yeah.
I think that would be useful.
Trevor?
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
Microphone.
I'm disappointed that I gave well, you received it, madam, about the bus pass or the bus stands.
Mm.
And I thought we said you would put it up in the...
Did I? I don't know what I've done with it, to be honest, Trevor. Did I say that? Like many people, I probably forget things as well. My apologies. Maybe sometimes it's better to do things yourself rather than ask somebody else.
I think it would be good to put something.
Yeah.
It'd be useful.
Because the bottom one's full.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't see it. 'cause it's-
Maybe, Trevor, if
Well,
you
and
get it again, then you can put it in yourself, because I've got other things going on in my life, and it probably was the bottom of the pile, and I don't know what I've actually done with it. My apologies for that, but I don't know what I've done with it, to be honest. But maybe if you just print another one off and put it in yourself, and then you know it's been safely deposited,
But you can use
instead
the
of
key.
relying on me.
Who's got the key?
I don't know who's got the key.
Who's got the
It's
key?
open.
Huh?
It's open, is it?
Top.
Oh, the top. But it won't fit. I don't think there's any room in the top for it to go.
Well, there's only a little turntable thing.
Who's got the key for the top one? Because I wouldn't have even known it was locked.
It's
Joe
mine.
must have.
Oh, right.
I got it.
Right, so I couldn't have done it anyway. No.
No.
Right.
I didn't know it was going in the top.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's not very big, is it?
I don't know. I've managed to lose it, Kate, and I don't know what I've done with it, and I do apologise that I have
Well, we can
lost
put
the
another one in,
time
can't we?
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it
Okay.
could be
Anything else,
rectified.
Trevor?
Yeah, when you were talking about, or Clive was talking about the spots for near misses, and well, there was actually a collision at Hembry Cross not long ago, and that was a minibus, and you know there's no lines left on the road at all, and something, I don't know what it was, but Suzanne will tell you, because well, it was they reported it to the police and whatnot. So it's just we ought to be well, several that, like you say, the lines on the junctions, like Clive was saying, is the problem. We haven't necessarily got to have all the white lines.
They've immediately gone and done the ones up at Moorhead.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Because there've been accidents and near misses.
Well, that's right. So the same with Thorns Cross now and Hembry Cross.
Kath, please, Trevor's talking.
I'm so sorry.
They need to get the paintbrush out.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay. We'll follow that up, Clive. I think it's the best we can do.
But it's Clive's Thorn Cross. Yours must be Thorn Cross, isn't it? Not Hembry Cross.
The one I was talking about was the one up from Trevor.
That's Thorn Cross.
Thorns Cross.
That's Thorns Cross.
Yeah.
Hembry Cross.
You have reported that one, yeah.
But if they want it done one,
Why not? Yeah, I agree with you.
It is all over.
Yeah. Thanks, Trevor. Is that it? Or
Yeah.
anything else? Lovely. Jim.
Just one other thing on the minutes. A parishioner was asking me, apparently there used to be a folder in the telephone kiosk that had the minutes in it. That was news to me. I didn't know about that, but I did go and look in the telephone box and I didn't see one, so.
Yeah, I think there has been one. Was there one in the shop?
No, the folder, I've discussed this with Jim, the folder in the phone box, Joe and I have been putting the minutes in there as requested. I've been having a little think about this, and I think in the time that we're in trying to be environmentally friendly and that we're possibly wasting paper, ink and the clerk's time, I think it needs to go on the next agenda to stop that, to be quite honest. I think it's been cleared out of there. I think, is it your daughter, Clive, that cleans out the... Is it your daughter that did that? I think it's been removed, unfortunately. And that's what's going to happen from time to time. Not your daughter's fault by any means. It's probably a folder that just gets put back in there. I don't personally think that we have queues of people going into an old telephone kiosk to read the minutes in 2025. I'm going to ask for that to go on next month's agenda, please, Joe. that we can vote whether to keep it or to lose it. Okay? Thanks. Sorry.
So-
That's right. Oh, sorry, Clive.
In all fairness to Anna, I think if she had seen the folder, she would realise it wasn't a book that she needed to clear out. She would have left it there.
No, absolutely. It was certainly, I mean, obviously
It
when...
gets wedged in the back every time.
Yeah, so we go, both Joe and I do it so that I'm seconding Joe that she's actually put it in there. And I have never, I've actually done a survey that it was up at the top, it's never moved from the top. It was quite obvious that nobody for months has been in there and read it, and every time we've either put it in different places and it's stayed there. And I just think it's an absolute waste of time, energy, and everything else, and paper and God knows what else.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. I think at some stage, I think we ought to kind of have a discussion, perhaps when the county councillor is here, about buses for Buckland, because we all know people who've moved out of the village because they're worried about what happens when they can't drive anymore. And to my mind, all we need is almost like a bus to go into Bideford. You don't need to go to Barnstable because you can catch about 500 buses in Bideford. But it is a point, and people have considered this because one of the things why they want to move from our village, and I know we've historically not had very many buses here anyway, but I think we ought to have a discussion and perhaps contact the bus monitor down at Devon County Council.
Dave, as a matter of interest and for research and development, would it be possible for you to put maybe on the Parish Council Facebook page, that's one I'd like you to join, keeps you in check, doesn't it, on what's going on around the place? Put on a little survey and just see how many people would use that bus from here, because I know obviously in the past there was nobody using the bus.
I know.
But the village has grown, hasn't it?
And the village has grown, and it would be really interesting. We've got quite a good following now on the Facebook page. You could set up a survey. They're quite sorry, Joe. Set up a survey on Facebook and just put it out there. Would you use the regular bus service? Yes or no?
Well, what about the people that don't use the Facebook, don't have a Facebook?
Well,
How would they
No,
get
this is just a little sort of tip of the iceberg sort of thing, Kath, just to sort of dip our toe in and see if, it could be that 150 people come back and say, I use it. We've got 300 or 400 people on that Facebook page. It gives us a little bit of an idea if people are going to be using it or not. I'm not going to, sort of start...
I know a few people that use it, but I know they're not on Facebook, but yeah.
No,
but
that's fine, but you could maybe, you could tick the box.
You're just trying to get
I'm just going to get a sort of an overview, and if only 1.2 and a dog comes back, we would think, okay, maybe...
But sometimes it's not the people who want to use it now, it's what happens in the future, like all these people have been thinking. I mean, when I get old and decrepit, which probably week next Thursday, you need to have someone to be able to...
We can find out whether, some people might want to use it. There's no hope of having it for a job, is there? Do you know what I mean? No. Because it's twice a week. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to use it for work, it's just not possible, is it? Which is really, sad on that side.
If you had a whole series of kind of I don't know, I just think
do you know,
we ought to think...
Do you know how to set up a... It's quite easy, just for... You're an administrator on there, so you should be able to set up a survey.
I will have a look. I'm sure I know where
I'm sure you will. Okay.
I'll ask you if I can.
We could even put maybe something up on the website at some point. And just on that question, the website has been mucking about. People might be aware that the agendas and the minutes are all over the place, and it's been the thorn in your side recently. That is all being taken to task in the next week or so. All right? That's going to be all sorted out and look lovely.
Apart from that,
lovely. Thank you. Phil.
Which microphone do you want me to use?
Hmm? Yeah, that one. That's fine.
I've turned it on.
Is it on?
Yeah.
On the table? Yeah. Right, when Dave was talking about 1976 and driving out tonight, I thought we were in for one of the dry years, the driest summer we had in 76, if I remember rightly. We had standpipes. I think you had standpipes here in Buckland Brewer, those of you who were around at the time. We did lit them, and I looked at the countryside tonight, and some of the corn has actually died out, and given the forecast for the week, and given that Yorkshire Water today is announced they're having to restrict watering, into the summer, given we've got a week's sunshine to come right the way through the week from that side. So 76, a good year. It was the driest summer that I've ever known, but I think we're going to beat it this year by the amount of rainfall we've had. Sorry, I've got my back to you.
No, it's fine, don't worry.
You can go over there,
You
and
can
then you
take
can
that.
talk to
Take
everybody.
that.
You can talk to everybody at home as well, then.
Okay, don't want to be on the camera, but there you go.
You are.
Thank you very much indeed. We've talked a lot about the local government review, and it was announced in December from central government that they're going to look at two-tier authorities. Devon is a two-tier authority. We have district councils and county councils, and there's going to be a decision at some point in the future. We have to make a response at Torridge by November, but there's a public consultation going out, and if any of you really feel strongly about the reorganisation, whether you want it or whether you don't want it, you can make your comment by the 11th of August on the portal at Devon Torridge District Council. So go on to Torridge District Council, you get guided to it, and if anybody isn't on, and pick up the comment about people not being on Facebook, if anybody's not on the computer, you can ring up 428700 Torridge, Bideford, and ask for a paper copy to be sent to you so you can make your reasoned arguments from that point of view. Secondly, we got a new tranche of the Household Support Fund. The Household Support Fund is money sent by central government for struggling families. We've just been awarded another tranche. There's a seventh tranche, now and almost certain to be the last. Some £300,000 coming in, and to support families that are in difficulties. And I was quite shocked to read the report that came down from Devon County Council that there's 22,000 youngsters living in poverty in Devon. And we think they're pretty affluent, but now I'm not sure what the actual definition of living in poverty, but that was the figure given by Devon County. Now, we're probably an eighth of that, so you've got 2,500 or 3,000 children in Torridge, so there'll be some in Buckland Brewer. There's money there. Please access it if you can through Torridge District Council. Street naming. Oh. I don't like foxgloves any longer, I can tell you. It's been an ongoing situation for a little while. We had a meeting on Monday, and I spoke with Ollie Kearney for about 10 minutes after the meeting, and there has been a new street naming policy. You'll be glad to know the policies, and there's nothing more argumentative in councils about what you're going to call a street. Because if you get two popular characters in the past who passed away, I think it's 20 years ago, you're not allowed to name a street until somebody's passed away for 20 years. And then the classic situation is you get two big families who want the street named after their family. You can have a real argument coming up. So what has come down from central government, the various changes, we have adopted the policy, but we did make an amendment. And I seconded the proposal from Teresa Tinsley that parish and local councils are included far more when it comes to naming, street naming policies. And I know there's been enormous problems here from all the things that have been happening. So Ollie is aware of your problems here with the street naming. I spoke to him again, and he's open to listen to try and sort the matter out and let me know if I can do any more in that direction. Lastly, waste and recycling. One or two complaints have just come in, and I feel sorry for our guys on waste and recycling at the moment, because you can't move anywhere without a street closure or a traffic light or something saying you can't move. And Bideford has been one of the worst places we've had for a little while. Our depot is in Westcombe, which is on the north side of Bideford, and you have to come through Bideford to get out into the rest of Torridge. You can't believe that there's about 30 miles of Torridge below Bideford, and I gather today Saltrans is closed. So lorries can't get through to Holsworthy and can't get back again from that situation. And I spoke to our waste and recycling guy because people have been complaining a bit, well, you missed my collection, you missed my collection. But if a road closure sign goes up, then by law, our lorries are not allowed to go past that sign. Now, if your property is 100 yards within that sign, and the difficulty is another 400 yards down the road, your property may get missed. And it's not the wish of the guys on the operations lorry. They're struggling with times, they're struggling keeping things going. And there was a classic just 10 days ago with the, well, we've had the traffic lights at the bottom of Torridge Hill and Beddyford, and people have really struggled to get out towards Torrington and on the A386. But Devon Highways decided to do pothole filling between Moorhead and Amersham Cross on the same day. I mean, you can't write it down, quite frankly. You know, I mean, it was absolute madness around the small roads with lorries and tractors and machinery. And we've also got a thing called horses and cyclists that, you know, and I mean, you got rid of all the dogma, I can tell you that. But the situation is that our roads are struggling at the moment. Please don't blame our recycling guys if they just miss you for the day, because they don't quite know which way next the thing is going to be closed. I'll take any questions and say good night to you if there's no question.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, do you have to pay to go to the tip, as we call it now?
The tip.
I'm not paying. Do you have to make an appointment?
No.
Well, they'd be very disappointed if you called it a tip.
Recycling centre.
And we've now building a new recycling centre. We call it an environmental centre now. It's not a tip.
Even better.
So you don't have to make an appointment. I mentioned that you have to make an
Blimey, where were you? You're reading like COVID times, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
think
think sometimes if you've got something to take in, I would give them a ring, and the recycling centre, you're talking about the one up by the Land Centre up at the top of the ground. Yeah. That's the Devon County Council, so that's for your Devon County councillor. And strange enough, that's one of the big discussion points, because Torridge does the collection and Devon County does the disposal of what we collect. And I mean, it's total madness again, you know, when you come down to it. But at the recycling centre, sometimes I've been up there with stuff, and they close because they're moving stuff around and health and safety kicks in again, and you can't get...
Yes.
So they close the gates, and and sometimes you've got to pay for some stuff. If you've got an old radiator that's got asbestos in it, they're not very happy with. I don't think they don't like.
They're a bit better with paint if you double bag now.
Pardon?
Paint. They never used to take paint, but they'll take it if it's double bagged.
There's somebody. There you go.
There you go.
And they are really helpful, actually.
They are very,
right.
very good, I have to say.
That's my wife really gets really annoyed because I come home with more stuff than I take. If you ever want a Zimmer frame, I can't believe it. You talk about the economics we live in, but it's cheaper for the health service not to take the Zimmer frames fast than they take and buy new ones. I just think the wasteful world we live in. You just see what's...
Take them away, no.
Anyway, I'll take any further questions. I'm hoping you get up. Clive.
Guess what?
No, I can't.
Did you gather some of the discussion I was having?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And I'd like to mention it to the district councillor. You cover quite a lot of things. Do you have a particular interest in potholes? You briefly mentioned
In potholes? Well, I think that they're a good way to slow vehicles down to make sure they're not going too fast. So I think if you had a really good road, it'd be more risky if we had really good roads, actually.
I think you might be alone in that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I completely forgot to mention just now was Sir Keir Starmer said there was lots of money for potholes.
Yes.
If Torridge is, what do you say, 1/8 of Devon?
We're 1/8 of Devon, yeah. With Devon's 760,000, we are 68,000, so we're roughly about 9% of Devon.
Can you possibly find out how much money is going to be allocated to Torridge?
Well, I think that's for your Devon County Council, because there's highways question. But we've got a committee called HATOC, which is Highways and Traffic Operations Control, I think it is. And we meet twice a year. And usually they get cancelled by Devon. And we are really concerned this time that we want to meet and talk with highways because of the way the road closures are going on at the moment and the disruption that people are facing. I mean, people can't get to doctor's appointments on time, they can't get to hospital appointments on time, and that really does worry from that point of view. So yeah, I'll try and find out and get back how much Devon actually got and find out from there.
Thank you. As far as refuse and recycling is concerned, we've had very good services we've moved in Buckland Brewer, and I go out and regularly thank them for what they do because they do a super job and just take it home on the job.
No.
But we've had great service from them.
And the rules and regulations around all the things they're doing these days is enough to drive you in. The targets they set and what you have to try and chase down, you know, incredible. I find some of the food statistics quite interesting, what we throw away in food and all the rest, yeah.
The HATOC meetings, is that still open to kind of parish councils? Because I think somebody used to go to them sometimes.
I'm not sure if the HATOC, I will check, David, and get back to you if there is
I'm sure that people used to go to that.
We have 2 seats on the HATOC, and there is 2 county councillors of the 5 that represent Torridge on HATOC.
Oh, okay. But I know somebody used to go, and I can't. And I thought it was whether it was done on a kind of rota basis or what,
Right.
or probably through DOG,
Yeah.
maybe. Could be.
Is that, can I say, keep reporting any potholes all the time, and the thing that does worry me, particularly on the, I mean, there seems to be a circuit that the cyclists do from Biddyford to Holsworthy to Bude and back the A39 again. And they're having to ride in the middle of the road because some of the drains are now dropping, and there is a real, and I really do worry for the clash of road users that where we have agricultural machinery now that can do 50 miles an hour nearly, it seems like. But cycles that can do 50 miles an hour, and you know, they're competing with cars. And when you see some of the weight of these,
and horses as well.
Well, I mean, horses are struggling to do 50, but they need space, and I mean, there is just the clash of what the roads are for.
I think along the bottom road, because I know that's where they do have like a track where they go. But sometimes I've come along and there's 15 cyclists there, you know, and you struggle to get past that number of people.
It's their practice run, isn't it, for that?
Yeah, but what my kind of thinking was, or is maybe they ought to put a sign up somewhere, beware of cyclists, for their own benefit, really, isn't it?
Well, it's right. Speaking of the cyclists, it's the motorcyclists that go to the Bude and back again. It's the cyclists that love the Powder Speece Road.
Yeah.
Because you could run all the way down from Powder Speece down to Lancaster Chapel.
That's right.
And they don't wear high vis, a lot of them, and there's a lot of going from light to dark, and you can't
That's
see
in the
them.
dark
Yeah.
And they should wear high vis, because horses, they have to wear high vis
That's
now,
right.
and if you're not, your insurance doesn't cover you. So shouldn't that be the same in cycling?
How do you police it?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well, they use, you know, a lot of guys are in, you know, but it's the ones that catch you unawares all the time.
Yeah.
And you sometimes go from darkness to light, and
That's
this time of year can be very
Yeah.
And that bottom road's fast, isn't it? Especially when you've got lorries coming in the middle of the road at you.
But where there is, and then I think the road at Biddyford is one of the worst for roughness as well as you can. Just keep reporting, that's all you can do, because I do worry for highways.
The other thing, Bill, is what's happening regarding homeless?
Sorry?
The homeless situation.
Homeless, yeah.
Homeless. Is that, because I know you've got more facilities now for them to be in.
On Monday we had our main committee meeting, and we've just approved to go forward for a planning application for further pods to go up at Sully House, which is the bit of ground up behind Lidl, up the top of the town. I'm not sure what I think there was a peak of 67 families we were housing, we had a duty to house. I think that's fairly high, but what is reduced the cost to us, I think it's costing us as a council 1.27 million at its peak. We're now down to 600,000 a year at the present moment. And having our own, rather than have people put people in hotels, saved us a fair bit of money, you know, from that side. But I don't think there's any less pressure on the economy. And the thing that made a huge difference to us down here was things like houses going out for Airbnb and people in the private sector losing their home. And that was, I think, a big change that went after the COVID years then. And we're seeing, you know, the homeless situation rise from that numbers. We are working on it. I think Barnstable also, North Devon then has also bought some housing. And I'm interested to see that Taunton has sold one of its buildings in the centre of the town to Musgrove Park Hospital to provide nursing accommodation because they can't get the nurses down here.
So ironic, hospital, all those flats upstairs.
I know.
And you think,
I know. And they were lovely in their prime, weren't they?
yeah, I don't know, never liked it.
You do.
But yeah, it's just, and there had been talk about North Devon and Torridge getting together to kind of have like the old style council houses. Is that actually going to happen, or?
Well, the situation from the unitary side is there's a favoured option of Torridge, North Devon, Mid Devon, East Devon and West Devon being one unitary. Yeah. Then South Hams, Teignbridge, Torbay. And Exeter's out of the situation. I can't work out what Phil Byack is doing at Exeter at the present moment because he's not in the scheme of things. But that was the divide between the two sides, with Plymouth remaining a single unitary taking in part of South Hams district down there. So that is the favourite. The worst situation, if you've got another idea, not only do you have to say, we think that we would like to work with North Devon, for instance, but you've got to say how it affects all the other 8 districts across Devon. So I've got to know what is going to happen in East Devon and Exeter, or what happens in Teignbridge, Newton Abbot, then, if you like, and Torbay. And you've got
They're completely different areas as well, aren't they? They have completely different set of problems. Yeah.
So what we have as a situation is we have to try and make a response to be part of the process. But I suspect the decision will be made far beyond our way, and I think the real issue is that we'll become distant from where our centre will be. I mean, Devon County is in Topsham Road and Exeter at the moment, but there'll be 2 unitaries almost certainly, I suspect, and those centres will not be in Bideford or Barnstable. I suspect they will be in Exeter or Torbay, and that's where we're going to lose out, I think, from our side. And I think what we have to say, and we have the planning function as well, is that I don't think they'll have a feel for what our area is. Now, I talked to 1 or 2 about this, and they tell us at Torridge we don't have a feel for what you want the villages here to start with, so you're not very happy with the planning that goes on at Torridge, you know, and then you think about the difficulties with all the applications. It's not sustainable. I mean, we haven't got the hospitals, we haven't got the water, we haven't got the sewage supplies, and all the other basic pieces go with it. But we're going to be 1 stage further remote as well. We've got to make sure that we've got that representation that comes into place, whatever comes in after they make their decision.
I think sometimes that it obviously takes longer to get from like Barnstable to Exeter than it does from Exeter to the other way around. Because well, it just, people can't, you used to find that people, you had a meeting in Exeter, it was always at 9 o'clock. But if you tried to get a meeting in Barnstable at 9 o'clock, oh, it's too far, you can't come up. And it's that attitude, isn't it? And that kind of distance, that kind of, you know.
I think when you look at the way that they've drawn together this consultation, people live in Westminster and they're thinking that their boundary for their 100,000 people is just 2 miles down the road. The density of population in the urban areas is so different from what we have to live with in rural areas. And they are making the rules and regulations from an urbanistic point of view. And I can quite see, and I just wonder things like, you know, YouTube and Zoom and we haven't caught up with the technology yet at the present moment. You know, when I think that we can speak to somebody on the other side of the world now with no delay, yet we can't even speak to somebody in Bideford sometimes. And we haven't got a good connection. And
it's quite a bill, you see.
Well, you get lost in the valleys, and I think that we've got a lot of technologies coming down the line at us. You talk about the buses, but drivers' cars are going to be on the way, and my hope is salvation is living in the countryside when I can tell the car where I want to go. It's just remembering where I want to go is going to be the problem.
Why did I do that? Why am I...
Dave, you've got full empathy with that, haven't you?
That's right, but I think that I mean, when you look at care of the elderly population, some of the technical stuff that's coming out, I find quite, in one sense, marvellous, but quite frightening. You know, I mean, I mean, I gather now everybody's got Google in their home. Hey Google, can you switch the lights off, please? No. Now, hey Google can ring the ambulance and say, Mrs. So-and-so still in bed. You know, and that's where the artificial intelligence now, I think, is going to be frighteningly give us opportunities, but also give us disadvantages, and we've got to be part of that discussion, actually.
One of our previous county councillors was always on about technology being a help for kind of people who are isolated in their homes and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know where that was.
I've got two sons, one's in London and one's in Stafford. And one's got Alexa and one's got Google. I forgot which house I was in. I kept on saying, hey Google, switch the lights out, and nothing happened. He'd come down from bed and he reminded me to say Alexa.
Or it replies, get up and do it yourself.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to bid you all good night and wish you well.
Thank you, Phil.
Have a good night on Saturday. Yeah. I've got a generator as well if you need one.
I'll bear it in.
Flowing generators.
Super.
Thank you so much, Phil. That was interesting, Frank. Thanks very much. There is no planning commission, you'll be glad to hear. And over to you, Joe, with the accounts. Night, Phil.
I'm sorry, the gremlins are in again. I was going to give you a quick summary, of the year-end financial summary, but I can't display it on the screen. So I will very quickly say that the surplus for the last financial year that ended in at the end of March, we had a surplus of £15,894 versus £10,692 the previous year. Some of the reason for that surplus was that we didn't have all the invoices that we were expecting in prior to the year end, but we also didn't spend as much as we had budgeted for in certain areas. I will put this table into the minutes. It's just a very quick income and expenditure table so that you can see the information. But if I quickly tell you, the amount of income and expenditure went up quite significantly last year in comparison to 2023-24. Some of that is because of internal transfers. Now that was just going from one of our accounts to another of our accounts. So that inflated both sides by 24,500. So if you disregard that bit, the other main variances that we had to report as far as the audit was concerned, the precept was higher because we increased the precept quite significantly last year, as everybody's aware, so that was £10,000 higher than previously. We had election expenses of nearly £5,000, and on the income side we received a VAT refund of £5,000. So there's nothing really other than that to report. Everything was as we expected. Okay, but I will put this table into the minutes just for everyone to have a look at if they want to. As far as payments since last meeting and the current balances, we have got in general funds a closing fund balance of £51,802.81. That's as at the end of June. And in restricted funds, which is Thornhill Head Moor, that's £47,529.63. The receipts and payments since last meeting, there's nothing terribly exciting in here. It's payroll, as usual, electricity, that's the monthly charge. We had an internal auditor's fee of £100. As the chair has already mentioned, the War Memorial, the lettering was repainted, so we had the bill in for that. And in Thornhill Head Moor, there were some emergency fencing repairs that cost £463. So that's what has come out since last time, and receipts, we've just had one field rent of £175. That's it.
Thank you. Can I have somebody who will propose those, please?
Is there
hello?
is there anything else needs happening up at Thornhill Head? Is there any?
Thornhill Head will be discussed in August.
Okay.
That's where we're sort of heading, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we need to have a proper, dedicated Thornhill Head.
Yeah, you know, what needs to be cut.
Yeah.
As in a separate meeting or a...
Yeah, it's going to be a part 2, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Will it not be August? No. Oh, okay, sorry.
A bit later.
Bit later, maybe a bit later.
Yeah.
The only reason for that is just very quickly, I think it's probably makes sense just to wait a little bit longer, because we've asked for some information relating to fields, and it would be better to discuss everything all in one go. And we're expecting that by the end of September.
Sorry, my
Yeah,
apologies.
so-
Sorry, I'm a month behind, ahead of myself. Okay, yeah, but... Oh yeah, sorry, can we, somebody propose the authorising outstanding? Anyone to second that? Thank you, Dave. Everybody in favour? Full house? It is 25 to 9, and I'm closing this meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good, I did.
So if you want to